there's a quote that Pastor Keon said, and it says, sometimes you find your deliverance in places that irritate you. The places that irritate you and get you boiling up and riled up is where your deliverance is. And I ain't gonna lie, he is so right. He is so right. And it's funny that I read that quote right when something had happened. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's very true, because I'm so determined to do some things and make some moves this year. Boy, listen, I tell y'all, I'm trying to be intentional. Hello, my beautiful thorns and roses, aka my beautiful bloomers. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not choosing violence. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining me again over here at YouTube with Bloom with Azalea. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you're notified every time that I post a new video. We are finally, for the last time, I'm gonna say it for all my videos, the final time, we're finally in 2023. 2022 is over. It is done. It was ghetto. Some persons went through, I don't want to say depression, but went through something. I think everyone felt it last year. Thank God it's a new year. I am hoping that this year is more prosperous with more divine favor and blessings for all of us. This year, and if you guys do remember, last year I actually spoke about the year 2022 being about healing and shifting, and I will put the link in the description box so you guys can read it, and I will put a link somewhere in this video so you guys can actually watch the video as well. And it's officially been a year since I've joined the YouTube gang. Yay! But today we're actually going to be talking about this year, which is for me about transformational shift, or a year of transformational shifting, or a year of shifting and transformation and being intentional. I know some of you guys have noticed that I've been a little more consistent with putting out content, and that's all a part of what this year is about for me, being intentional and putting my mind to things that I really definitely want to be intentional about. So let's get into this video, guys. So as I like to say, I am not perfect, nor do I intend to be. Last year, like I said, was about shift and healing, and this year is about shift and transformation. And I know you guys are wondering what the difference is, like Azalea, what could be so different between shift and healing and shift and transformation. So to explain both, shifting and healing, last year was all about me trying to heal from old wounds and new wounds. Life is be lifing, so obviously I was dealing with personal relations that I knew I wouldn't say did damage, but obviously left me in hurt and in pain, and that was something that I wanted to work on and get over. I wanted to heal from things that would have triggered me, and when I say that, I try not to hold a grudge, but then I don't forget when certain things happen. And a lot of things had happened last year. Not all were bad. Some were bad, some were not, were okay. And, you know, I just needed to move on from it and accept it. I will let you guys know now, a lot of lessons were learned. Many things were gained. Wisdom and knowledge was also not taken advantage of. And that's what my shifting and healing was all about. It was about trying to move past the hurt, past the old wound and the scars. And I will say I am still healing to some degree. I am still healing, but I won't say it is as bad as it was. It's not as bad as it was, but I do want to admit and say that yes, the last year I definitely was mentally trying to just move past a few things, and I can admit that it did take a toll on me. It did affect me in different ways, whether I was there but I wasn't there, or I just started to lack communication. I started to have I was starting to become bitter. I was starting to lose my bubbliness, my bubbly personality, and I could say it was my work environment that I started to lose my bubbly personality. but I've also learned that I cannot lose my bubbly personality. I am just more aware of who will, get that bubbly side, who will not get that bubbly side. I've also learned to, just accept things for what they are. You can't change no one. You can only do what you think it's best. And, that's just what it was. I mean, you learn from what you learn from. You invest in things that you probably shouldn't invest in. And little other things, like things from childhood that you want to try to get over, because at the end of the day, you know what it is that you want to be. So that is what my healing and shifting was about. That is the difference. But again, this year is all about transformational shift, and also, like I said, being intentional. And that is the major word, being intentional. So let's talk about it. Shift and transformation. Like I said, it's about being intentional. It's all about me wanting to accomplish more things this year. And I may not be able to accomplish everything this year, and that's completely fine. But it's definitely time for me to be more intentional and stop sitting on my backside on all the potential that I have. Because it's like, if everybody else can see it, and when I say everybody else, I mean including the uncircumcised Philistines from Egypt who can see it and try to deter me to not do it, then I obviously have something that I'm doing right. And it's obviously there's something in me that I need to stop sitting on and slapping up. So we ain't doing that this year. I'm not doing it this year, and I don't think y'all should do it either. Just, all of us on the same page. We're blooming this year. We're growing. And yes, it is the winter season, which means I am still going through my time of isolation. But I've realized that I think I like being a little isolated and being in a place of solitude. So that is definitely something else that I'm being intentional about, not announcing anything before it's time. Not letting my left hand know what my right hand is doing, not letting my right hand know what my left hand is doing. I think that's in the book of Matthew, because I am on my 52-week Bible study journey, and I think I just read that actually this week. So yeah, it's about me being more consistent, being more persistent, being able to make up my mind that if you want to see some serious results, you got to keep going. Last year, if y'all noticed, I had stages and phases where I would post 1 week, and then for the rest of the month, I wasn't posting. Or I would start to get consistent, and then I would stop. I'm trying my best not to do that. And like someone had told me recently, it's not really about quality, it's more about quantity. I mean, it's not about quality, but it's about, what is it? Why am I mixing up my words? It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Thank you guys, got it. So I am trying to put out good quality content that you guys can relate to, and that is the part of the reason as well why you guys have noticed that I've been trying to be consistent. But apart from that, I've realized that I have tried to share my dreams and my visions, and people tend to think that it's unrealistic. Well, buddy, guess what? I'm about to make the unrealistic so realistic. Y'all gonna wish, and they're going to wish that they believed in me and they never doubted me. What else? I've realized that there's spaces that I am in right now that I don't want to be in. Right now, I can't really change it because it's not my time to shift, and I have to allow God to do what He wants to do. I realized that I have to stop having so much self-doubt, and I need to have crazier faith, like what Pastor Michael Todd says. You gotta have crazier faith. You gotta allow God to do what He has to do in your life, but you have to give Him something to work with. So I am taking a step back and letting Him drive the bus, even though sometimes I be like, God, we can't go left. No, we can't go right. No, we go in this way. All right, cool. So that is something else I'm learning to do, is to allow God to just take control. I'm learning to, like my best friend he recently told me this. Shout out to Jodeci. Hi, Joe. He just told me recently, stop doing life on autopilot. Now, I know I do say we got to ride the wave. Just ride the wave. Feel it out, yes. But at the same time, be aware and be intentional about what it is that you're doing, about this transformation shift. I am trying to evolve. I am not trying to change who I am for anyone. I'm just trying to be a better person in this life. I have had Eve moments, and I've learned from my Eve moments. We're all gonna have Eve moments. If you guys don't know what it is to have Eve moments, basically you know better but you didn't do better. That's all it is. But I'm getting a little off topic. But yes, when I what was he saying? So Jodeci had told me, he said, take life basically off of autopilot. And he explained what it meant to me, and that's basically like, hey, don't just keep doing everything in a cycle. Don't just let whatever you see happening. Like, take control. And that is something that I'm trying to do. Is I'm doing my best, and I'm trying my best to take control of my life, not doing what persons think I should do, what they feel like I should be doing. Because at the end of the day, it's me. It's what I want. It's not your life. It's mine. And I got to answer to it at the end of the day. So yes, that is what a part of my shifting, being intentional with this transformational shift. I'm trying to shift gears. And I'm trying to learn that as I shift gears, things will spiral a little bit, but I have to allow God to be a part of my shift and my transformation. I have to learn to take a step back. And someone like me who likes to be a perfectionist, I like to know what's going on in my life. I like to have full control. But sometimes I forget that it's really not me, but it's really God, and my strength comes from Him. I have to allow myself to let Him ordain my steps and let His will be done in my life. And that's in the Our Father prayer. Like it does said, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Not my will, because my will is completely different. He has a completely different blueprint. So that is definitely something that I am working on this year and this season. So yeah. And like my Bible verse says, my favorite Bible verse, for those of you who missed the big reveal when I got a tattoo or whatever, or didn't catch on, my favorite Bible verse does come from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 1-8. And there's a time and a season for everything, and I'm realizing more than ever now that I'm just in seasons. I'm in a season of highs and lows. I'm in a seasons where I'm going to be low. I'm going to be in a season where I'm just high, and not that high, but a high of, just success. And what else? I am so casual for this video, y'all. This is just being fully transparent about this year for me. This year is just gonna be one of those years where I've learned the lessons I've had to learn. I've gained knowledge, I've gained wisdom. Again, I'm not perfect, nor do I care to be. I'm perfect enough for me. And I'm just trying to do me. I'm trying to do the best that I can. And I'm enjoying, like I said, this piece of being in isolation and solitude. I am at a place right now where, like I said, I want to move. And I keep receiving and I keep seeing these things that says, hold on, it's not your time yet. And it's a sermon that I watched recently, and it's so funny. It's a sermon that I watched with Sarah Jakes Roberts. And in the sermon, she was talking about anointing. And she was talking about how sometimes God gives you your anointing. You know what your anointing is, or He gives you your gift. You find out what your gift is, but He's not ready to release you yet. And I think that's where I am right now, because I'm starting to realize a lot of things. And I'm starting to realize that, it ain't my time yet. Still a few lessons that I gotta learn. So that's just a side note of something else that I wanted to say. But God knows that this year is my year. This is my year of being intentional. I am shifting. I can feel that I am shifting. And I pray and I keep myself covered, that God just continues to be by my side and He continues to ordain my footsteps. And even though I have my moments where I complain, He just knows that that's just me. I don't curse God for it, but I do question God. And I know we shouldn't question God, but I'm now starting to understand that where I am, I'm supposed to be. And it's just like the story of Job. Like how God took everything from Job. I'm not saying God took everything from me, but it's like the story of Job where he did question God, but he still remained faithful. Like, he still praised him. And that is something I'm actually learning to do right now. And I wouldn't say still learning to do, but I'm still trying to be very consistent with it, which is to still thank God for everything. I feel like I get bite on my back. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. So yeah, y'all, that there for sure. And I'm curious to know, what is this year about for you guys? Like, what is something that last year, what was 2022 about for y'all? Like, was it about healing? Was it about moving on? Was it about finding yourself again? What was it about? Like, what did you learn? I'm curious to know, so please let me know in the comments what it was about for y'all. I don't want to ramble too much any longer, but I will keep this in mind. This was a reflective post because you guys know that last year I did talk about, again, shift and healing, and this year it's about shift, transformation, and just being intentional. I know you guys kind of heard me earlier in my video. I said that I am in places where I no longer want to be, but there's a quote that Pastor Keon said, and it says, sometimes you find your deliverance in places that irritate you. The places that irritate you, get you boiling up and riled up, is where your deliverance is. And I ain't gonna lie, he is so right. He is so right. And it's funny that I read that quote right when something had happened. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's very true, because I'm so determined to do some things and make some moves this year. Boy, listen, I tell y'all, I'm trying to be intentional. I'm trying to shift. I am trying to shift gears. I don't want to be in neutral no more. Like my friends say, ain't trying to be an autopilot. So I ain't trying to be in neutral. I trying to drive. We ain't reversing. We ain't going back. If we going back to remember that lesson that we learned and make sure we don't make that same mistake again. And we have an Eve moment and we bust that again. Or bust the Adam for you Thorns. You Thorns are my males, you Roses are my beautiful ladies. So we shifting gears. We going in full drive mode. We ain't doing neutral. But yeah. I was one of God's strongest soldiers last year. I ain't doing it this year. I learned the lessons. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. This year, I am praying for divine favor and blessings. I am allowing God's will to be done, and I'm praying that for you guys as well, who are going through what y'all going through and want this year to be your year. This your year. This our year. We blooming. We blooming with grace. We blooming with favor. We gonna remain humble, but we gonna do it. We doing it. We in this itch. We in this. No more slapping up. I love you guys. Continue to bloom. Keep blooming. Don't choose violence. I got a story for y'all. But anyway, don't choose violence. Have a great day. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome week. Rest of week. And I will see you all in my next video. If you want to read more about this post of me being very transparent, you can go to my website, bloomingazalea.com. Select the tab that says Infant Self, and the post will be right there for y'all to read. Have a great day. I love you guys. Keep blooming. Mwah.